Hey guys, welcome to Epoch Explored. Today's story, the day Rome burned, the Great Fire of AD 64. So let's get started. The day Rome burned, the Great Fire of AD 64. The night began like any other. The streets of ancient Rome were crowded with merchants closing their shops, soldiers returning from duty, and families preparing for another peaceful evening. No one knew that within hours, the greatest city in the world would become a sea of flames. This is the story of the Great Fire of Rome, a disaster that changed history forever, and a mystery that still divides historians nearly 2,000 years later. In the year AD 64, Rome was the heart of the Roman Empire. More than 1 million people lived inside its crowded walls. The city was filled with magnificent temples, towering monuments, and luxurious palaces. But behind this image of greatness lay a dangerous reality. Most ordinary Romans lived in cramped wooden apartment buildings called insulae. These buildings stood close together. The streets were narrow. Open fires were used daily for cooking, heating, and lighting. Rome was a city waiting for a spark. That spark came on the night of July 18th. According to the ancient historian Tacitus, the fire started near the Circus Maximus, Rome's massive chariot racing stadium. Whether it began by accident or by human hands remains unknown. Strong summer winds quickly carried the flames from one building to another. Within minutes, entire streets were burning. People woke to screams echoing through the darkness. Parents searched desperately for their children. Citizens grabbed whatever valuables they could carry before fleeing into the night. Many had nowhere to go. The fire moved faster than anyone imagined. Wooden homes collapsed like falling dominoes. Warehouses filled with oil, grain, and timber exploded into towering infernos. Even the stone buildings trapped deadly heat, making escape nearly impossible. Roman firefighters, known as the Vigiles, battled the blaze day and night. But their equipment was primitive. Buckets of water and simple hand pumps were no match for the roaring inferno. Some witnesses claimed mysterious men blocked rescue efforts. Others said they saw strangers deliberately spreading the flames. Whether these stories were true or born from panic remains one of history's greatest unanswered questions. For 6 terrifying days, Rome burned. When people believed the nightmare had finally ended, strong winds reignited the fire. Another 3 days of destruction followed. By the time the flames finally died, 10 of Rome's 14 districts had been damaged. 3 districts were completely destroyed. Thousands of homes had vanished. Temples, markets, libraries, and priceless works of art were reduced to ash. The human cost was enormous. Although ancient records never reveal an exact death toll, countless Romans lost their lives. Even more became homeless. Entire families wandered through the countryside with nothing but the clothes they wore. The empire's greatest city had become a landscape of smoke and ruins. At the center of the storm stood one man, Emperor Nero. Few rulers in history have inspired as much controversy. Almost immediately, rumors spread that Nero himself had ordered the fire. Some claimed he wanted to clear space for an extravagant new palace. Others insisted he watched the city burn while singing about the fall of ancient Troy. It is one of history's most famous stories. But was it true? Modern historians are skeptical. The earliest reliable sources suggest Nero was not even in Rome when the fire began. He reportedly rushed back to the capital as soon as he heard the news. Ancient accounts describe him opening his private gardens to refugees. He arranged emergency shelters. Food supplies were distributed. Prices of grain were lowered to prevent famine. These actions hardly resemble those of a ruler trying to destroy his own city. Yet suspicion refused to disappear. Nero needed someone to blame. His answer would forever change world history. He accused a small religious group that most Romans barely understood, the Christians. At the time, Christianity was still a tiny movement within the empire. Its followers refused to worship Roman gods or the emperor. This made them easy targets. What followed became one of the earliest and most brutal persecutions of Christians in Roman history. Ancient writers describe horrifying executions. Some Christians were thrown to wild animals. Others were crucified. According to tradition, the apostles Peter and Paul were among those who died during Nero's reign. Whether every detail is accurate remains debated, but the persecution left a lasting mark on Christian history. After the disaster, Nero launched one of the largest rebuilding projects Rome had ever seen. New laws required wider streets. Buildings had to be constructed using more fire-resistant materials such as brick and stone. Open spaces were created to stop future fires from spreading so easily. Ironically, many of these reforms made Rome safer than it had ever been before. Yet Nero's most ambitious project became a symbol of his legacy. The Domus Aurea, the Golden House. This enormous palace covered vast areas of central Rome. It featured artificial lakes, luxurious gardens, marble halls, and rooms decorated with gold and precious gems. To many Romans, it appeared that while ordinary people struggled to rebuild their homes, the emperor was building paradise for himself. His reputation never recovered. Just 4 years later, Nero was overthrown. Facing arrest, he took his own life in AD 68. His death ended the Julio-Claudian dynasty and plunged Rome into civil war. Today, archaeologists continue to uncover evidence of the Great Fire. Burn layers beneath modern Rome reveal the immense destruction caused by the disaster. Excavations of Nero's Golden House still attract visitors from around the world. Yet the greatest mystery remains unsolved. Was the fire an accident? A tragic consequence of overcrowded wooden buildings? Or was it deliberately started for political ambition? No surviving evidence provides a definitive answer. Perhaps it never will. But one fact is beyond dispute. The Great Fire of Rome transformed one of history's greatest empires. It reshaped the city. It altered religious history. It changed the fate of an emperor. And nearly 2,000 years later, the flames still burn in our imagination. History is not only written in stone, sometimes it is written in ashes.